The tenure of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry appointed to investigate irregularities at Sri Lankan Airlines, Mihin Lanka and Sri Lankan Catering was extended by another 5 months. Today, a serious anomaly in the registration of shares purchased from Emirates was exposed at the Presidential Commission of Inquiry. Newsfirst.lk filed this report on today's proceedings.
In 2006, the government of Sri Lanka owned 51.05% of the shares of Sri Lankan Airlines, while Emirates owned 43.63% and others owned 5.32%. However, in 2010, an understanding had been reached to sell the 43.63% shares of Emirates to the government of Sri Lanka. This is evident in a letter addressed to former Secretary of Finance P.B. Sundara from the chairman of Emirates, Sheikh Ahmed bin Said Al Maktoum. At the time, the government valuation department had determined the government-owned shares were valued at $450 million. It was said today that former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, as the Minister of Finance, had produced a memorandum to Cabinet in June 2010, and it notes approval was granted for the Bank of Ceylon to explore the possibility to purchase the Emirates shares for $53 million. According to the documents, on the 20th of June, 22,451,516 shares owned by Emirates were transferred to BOC for $53 million. What is surprising is that as of 30th August 2010, when Sri Lankan registered the shares, the BOC had 12,115,517 shares, People's Bank had 4,236,135 shares, National Savings Bank had 4,236,135 shares, and the EPF had 1,863,676 shares. However, there is no cabinet paper available to say that the Treasury approved the other state institutions to purchase the Emirates shares, despite the fact that Cabinet only approved the Bank of Ceylon to purchase the shares. Titus Kannangara, the Senior Manager of Security and Investigations at Sri Lankan Airlines Limited, testifying today, said it took the national carrier almost 2.5 years to install an X-ray scanning system at the Katnayaka airport. He said the original tender was cancelled in 2014, citing an alleged security threat from the LTTE, and the 3 X-ray devices were only installed at the airport in 2016 and 2017. The airline had entered into individual 7-year service agreements with the supplier for explosive trace detectors, and all were signed on the 31st of August 2016 by retired Major General P. Chandavansa, the head of Group Security. The ETDs were installed at the airport on the 15th of August 2016, 2 weeks before the service agreements were even signed. The issue highlighted by the Attorney General's Department is that the user departments had approved of the procurement even before the ETDs were shipped to Sri Lanka. The witness also confirmed that the HR department at Sri Lankan Airlines requested him to release on duty leave 7 security personnel attached to the Sri Lanka Nidahas Sevaka Sangamaya for election campaigning in Palmadulla on the 27th of December 2014 for the political party that was in power at the time. However, the collective bargaining agreement between the trade union and Sri Lankan Airlines clearly notes personnel cannot be released for any political activity.